You should have behaved.
Yeah.
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
What a show we got for y'all tonight. Oh my gosh.
To tell you how excited we are, you have no idea.
This is cool.
We actually got like pre-excited,
right,
hanging out in the back with the one, the only Robert Cardoza.
Yeah, it is man, this is gonna be badass.
This is gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be cool, y'all.
It's gonna be amazing.
So
yeah,
I got goosebumps just by listening to a couple of his stories, and we've had people texting us and stuff and messaging, and
right.
Yeah, it should be great, man. So
yeah,
I'm gonna let Danelle go ahead and start her thing.
Start my thing.
I'm gonna drink my Adjust
You're
coffee.
Gonna drink your Adjust coffees. Shout out to our friend Wells, Adjust,
and Katie,
and
the Cornet
Triplets, for providing us with these amazing Adjust coffee mugs.
Yep.
His thing is make adjustments, not excuses.
That's right. Come on.
So
come on.
No BS, y'all. Get out there and
what's up, Arthur? Hey,
just
Holly.
change the way you're doing things. So we are super excited, right? We've already I mean, I can't even tell you. We have a crazy lineup this month. Yes. We are super thrilled about what we've got going on. We are so thankful for Rob Drolet joining us last week.
Yes.
That was an incredible, heartfelt show that, I mean, it was just fantastic. And we have really learned that there are so many amazing people out in this industry that I just want to talk to every one of them. I mean, I've got people lined up for a while that I want to get on the show, that have agreed to go on the show, but is what it is. Today, we get a legend.
And not just us. Anybody that watches.
Yes, y'all get.
But yeah, we get we get stateside with you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. What's up, Rick?
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
We got 27 Kim, Amanda. Awesome. So why don't we do a shout out to our sponsors quick?
Let's go with
What do you think?
I think we are too.
So today our gate drop giveaway is being done by 8 Degree Pedal. He likes to show off his 8 Degree Pedal thong that we are still working on his grand debut for that. And I've warned y'all, I'm not telling him he can or cannot do anything. So if he does something crazy, y'all know that's all him. Just saying.
We don't want to embarrass the grandbabies. Everybody else already knows. But the grandbabies, they put me up a little bit. So.
Yes, they do.
Anyway, we've got the 8 Degree swag bag right here, loaded with some stuff.
Loaded. Hey, Justin. Hey, Ken.
What's up, Ken?
Super excited.
And with that being, we've got a discount code for y'all for 8 Degree Pedals from Mr. Ken.
Ken just looked us up with the 10% off using Rogue 10 promo code at checkout.
Yep.
All lowercase, he said. So if you want the 8 Degree pedals, the only floating pedal out there. By the way, Dan was giving sample rides out at DeSoto this past weekend. So I really need to talk to Ken, and I know he's listening, but we got to figure out how we can make this like a influencer type, commission type based thing, because you sell this stuff. You sell this stuff better than anybody I know. I'm just saying. You do.
I believe in it.
Right. If you believe in something, you believe in something.
I mean, if I didn't ride them, I didn't believe in them, I wouldn't push
it. Also, we want to thank Evil Alloy, our sponsor, also, who has also Rogue 10 promo code for 10% off. You also get free shipping after $150, right?
Yep. Plus your discount.
Yep. Amy Grips is a really big one. Yep. Of course, free up storage. You need storage, 15% off. Use BMX 15 anywhere.
15 people.
BMX 15. And I'm just gonna kind of elaborate on this. I work for Free Up Storage. Dan works for Free Up Storage. We kind of both work for the same company, and I need to sell storage units in order for them to continue to support us.
This is correct.
If you know anybody who needs storage, please send them my way or give them the QR code. Give them the code.
We're in dire needs of renting
Yes,
some
we
units
need some units rented. So
from the
just
QR code.
from the QR codes. Okay, and are we missing anybody? Carbone Cartel, Evil Alloy,
You didn't say Carbone Cartel right now.
Carbone Cartel. Yes, they have just started sponsoring, providing
That
us
is
some
correct.
giveaway stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's that. And then I'm going to dive right into, I'm going to just get this over with right now. So our red light for our gate drop giveaway, you want to share this live on your podcast, share this live podcast on your social, comment done. We are doing it different moving forward because we don't want to take away from our guests, y'all. So what we're going to do this time is you share this on your page and comment. The more comments, the more opportunity you have to win, because at the end of the show, Dan's going to say, scroll, Danelle, and I'm going to scroll down every single comment. When he tells me to stop, whoever we land on is the winner. We are not doing crazy questions unless it's just Dan and I, because it just takes away. We figured that out with Rob last week. We really wanted it to be about them and not about us or anything else. So that's what it is. And oh my goodness, I have to figure this out. I was told by someone in the thing to hit the button. So hit the button, Dan. Hit the button. There we go. There we go. We hit the button.
It must have been rigged.
Must have been rigged, yes. So share, comment, done. The more comments that are on the page, the more opportunity you have to win. Ask all the questions tonight, y'all. Be involved. Robert has straight up told us he is an open book. He is not afraid to answer any questions. So I really hope everybody gets super involved. Before we get going, I did kind of want to go in and talk just a little bit about this past weekend. Our good friend Dan here, my sexy lover here, has created some serious road rash from about the elbows down. He is a walking pain pill. Like, he needs medication because he's hurting so bad. And the bruises that he has are like his whole leg is, I'm looking at it. His whole leg is bruised, y'all. But he had a good time. Didn't break any bones, right? Nobody got hurt.
Had a blast.
He had a blast. Yes. We had so much fun.
Until yesterday morning.
Right.
And then all through the night. So, but anyway, it's enough about that.
Yeah.
DeSoto was a blast.
Yep.
Good people, good racing.
Yeah. And we did, and here's where we're going to just kind of touch on what's going on in DeSoto and straight up tell you we did kind of get an inkling of things going on, but we don't know too much about it. We don't know how deep that goes. We don't know what that means. We know basically pretty much the same thing as everyone else does. And straight up, going rogue is not, I repeat, not going to be TOs for this property or for this track. It is not happening. Mostly because it just seems like this is a constant issue over there, and I don't know what it is. It's going to take someone really super attentive and strong, and we just don't have the time or energy to even consider it, number one. And I'm pretty sure they already got somebody in line. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And we hope that it kind of fills the gap that's kind of happened between that and some of the other tracks. It kind of closes that gap. We're hoping that kind of reunites what once was.
Bonding people.
Bondage. Yes. So we don't want to go too terribly far into what we know and what we don't know, because it's not our place to talk about it. But there are changes coming, and we are excited to see where it takes us, right?
Come on.
The track is phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It is so fun to race, even when you hit the ground, right?
Come on. Yeah.
Even when you hit the ground.
Well, since we're talking about it, so I got to say a big shout out to Wally and Tim that showed up.
Oh yes, yes.
My mentors growing up in the BMX took me in and everything, and for us to get together this weekend there was
Right.
just it was just
It was fun.
I almost slipped some bad work, but it was just phenomenal. And it was awesome. Even
Right.
though I ate shit, it was great.
Yeah.
It was a,
He was so worried about, screwing up in front of his mentors, and he totally went down. But it's okay. It's okay. It happens.
I did try to, I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on from that.
Yeah.
But
Landon
anyway,
did
great
amazing.
week. Yes,
Shout out to Landon.
yes.
And we do have a lot of team members out there who were out really killing it in other areas. Just want to remind everybody, going rogue is 100%. This is what helps fund our team. So if you know any sponsors or anybody who's looking to get their brand out there, I'm gonna push it for you. Like
a bunch of $2 donations.
We will take a $2 donation. Yes. So whatever it is, we can hook you up. Also want to remind everybody that we are coming up on the Side Hack Showdown, the Louisiana State Race. We also have, Brian Hutchinson's event is happening before that, right? It is like a 4-day event of amazing racing stuff. So y'all, Cargill, BMX, get your side hacks out there. We have a pretty good sized pot going right now.
We have 400 right now. We're shooting for 5 or more.
Right.
We want to give a shout out to Box Etc. and Creighton Cochran.
Right.
That is the TO.
Right.
And Creighton owns Box Etc. He is paying for every side hack's entry fee.
So
and then doubling
the reward. Like, wow.
Come on.
Like, you don't have to pay to compete. You can walk away with some real money, and we're still building that. Like, we're getting down there to the point where I have to really push and like get those sponsors to help support this. But I'm pushing. We're looking at about 5 hacks so far. Assuming that everybody shows up like they're supposed to and does what they're supposed to and everything works out. But right now, we know for sure we have at least 5 that have committed.
Yep.
So if anybody knows anyone with the side hack, this could be easy money.
Borrow it, steal it, and get your ass there.
We have hardware to give away. We're not also it's not a winner take all type thing. You could come out with the largest pot or the smallest pot, but it doesn't cost you anything to enter, right? So,
right.
But tonight's show is all about nostalgia. Tonight's show is all about how BMX became what it is. The legend who made it, who helped make it, is in the house backstage right now. I saw his beautiful wife commenting here also. She commented earlier saying that she was excited. Let's see if I can find it. I have to go way back. So here it is right here. Don't forget to ask about the funny stuntman in ET.
So, I mean, everybody has, the world has they might not exactly know who he is, but they've seen him.
Right.
And not known it, but they're fixing to find out.
Right. So for those that don't know, who is Robert Cardoza, Dan?
He's a stuntman in ET.
He's a stuntman in ET. Woohoo! So excited.
And he's one of the pioneers of BMX.
Right. So what do you think? It's been about 10, 15 minutes. Should we bring them on?
Yes, ma'am. We should.
What do you think, team? What do you think, everyone? Make sure you're sharing and commenting done and staying up in the comments, because that's how you're going to win the gate drop giveaway this time. Here we go. Hey, Robert. Look who's here, guys. We have Robert Cardoza in the house.
This is awesome.
This is awesome. Hi,
hello,
Robert.
hello.
How are you?
There we go.
How you doing?
We are great. We are so excited to have you here.
Oh, I'm grateful to be here. I'm just another old BMXer.
Well, I wouldn't say just another old BMXer. You've done a lot for this industry. You've done a lot for this sport, and you are continuing to do a lot for this sport. In just a little bit of time that we've got to really get to know you, we are so excited to really dive into the good stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Anything. Do y'all hear that? Don't be afraid to ask anything in the comments. We are going to do that. We are going to allow people to, sometimes they chime in and ask questions. Sometimes they don't. So here we go.
Oh, Raymond did make it.
Raymond did make it. Hey, Raymond. All right.
Hi,
So when you
Raven.
think,
That's awesome.
what do you think BMX felt like before it came in industry? You were here before it really was anything. What was it
Well,
like before?
well, you got to remember, I started in 1972.
Wow.
Okay, and I when I started, it really wasn't a sport yet. It was guys would get together and they would race. Like I started racing in park races. The rec center would set up 2 or 3 jumps, and you'd have a race, and they'd give you a ribbon. And then
Oh,
yeah, and I was riding motocross motorcycles, and I didn't really enjoy it. I did it, but I didn't really enjoy it. I really loved to be on my bike. And then
right.
I ran into Scott Brythop, and he had Bums Raceway in Long Beach, which was just in an old vacant lot that the local oil company would use to store stuff, and they used that. So I started racing there. I I think I did twice there, and then we started traveling to the valley, and then saw some of those big races in the valley, and then discovered the NBA, the National Bicycle Association, Ernie
Right.
Alexander, and he was putting on races at the place where I was doing moto, Indian Dunes, California. So I started racing at Indian Dunes, and then another place that we raced motorcycles was Escape Country, which was
Okay.
in Tuberco Canyon, California.
Okay.
And they had a track there, and I would race there. A lot of times I'd be on my motorcycle, and I put my motorcycle away and go ride the bike track, Yeah. So I did that, and it was just the neighborhood kids. One parent would take us all to the track. We'd go and do that. And then sometimes we go do motorcycles, then we do bicycles. And then the bicycle end of it started getting bigger.
Right.
They opened up runway, skate park, BMX track. Then we had 190th Street in Torrance track. And then they opened up Entradero. And then we started traveling to a place called the Teen Center in Van Nuys.
Okay.
At that point, that's when the sport became a sport. There was people there. You would go there Wednesday nights and Friday nights. And on Wednesday nights, you'd run into people that, Byron Friday, the Christophers, all 3 of them, because there was 3 of them. Then you'd run into people, like all the Mongoose kids were there all the time. And you'd go, oh, wow. And you look at them and you'd look up. And then that went on for a couple of years, racing here and there. Not a lot, because I was still racing motorcycles.
Right.
And then I lived in Torrance, and I had a lot of friends that were racing BMX, Ike Eisenacher and people like that. And then I was riding down the road one day from my house to the dairy, because I'd always get chocolate milk. Chocolate milk was my thing. So on the way back, there's these warehouses, and I look in this warehouse, and I swear there's BMX bikes in there. So I pull into the driveway, and I look in there, and that's BMX bikes, all the BMX parts and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I get a little farther, and I can see in the main office, and there's just ladies sitting there. And I'm looking, I know that lady. And I don't know why I know that lady, but I know that lady. And then, so I've always been this guy. I pull up, hey, how you doing? I know you. And she goes, yeah, you're on my son's soccer team. And I went, South Bay Vikings? And she said, yeah. And that was Kay, who was Howie Cohen's, at that time. I don't think they were married at that time. I think they were just together.
Okay.
And she told me, oh, yeah, we distribute bike parts. And this guy, big man, Howie Cohen, comes around the corner. And he looks at me and he goes, hey, I see you have a BMX bike. We do BMX stuff. So he gave me the tour, the 15-cent tour showed me all the stuff. And he had all the parts. Oh, wow. It was like, oh. And then he goes, so what do you do after school? And I said, just go home and do my thing. And he goes, do you want a job? And I said, doing what? He goes, just doing some bike stuff around here, helping me package stuff and send stuff out. So I got there. First day I got there, they taught me how to bend brake levers. If you remember in the old days, everyone had a bent brake lever, a bent brake lever. Well, that was my job. I would get all these brake levers in this box from the Orient, and they were straight. So I put them in this little vise thing made, put a pole on it, bend it down to where it's supposed to be. Then I'd grab a sleeve, one of the little plastic sleeves, shove it on, and throw that in a box. Do about 1,000 in a day, and then I started doing all the customer service stuff, like sending stuff out, shipping and receiving things.
Right.
And then I would think it was 78, maybe early 77. He was talking about this new bike was going to come over. At that point, he was distributing, let's see, MCS, Torker, Powerlight, Cook's Brothers, and then Red Line Parts, and then you had all the wheels and stuff. So he started at that point, no one built a complete bicycle. Okay. So he had a thing called a bike in a box. So as a dealer, you would call up and say, I want a Torker or a Powerlight. And then you had three choices. A cheapy brand, cheap wheels, cheap parts, everything in this box had everything to put the bike together. One-piece cranks, all that stuff. And then you had the second tier that was better cranks and better brakes and all this stuff. Then you had the third tier with all the expensive stuff, the bullseye hubs and all the other stuff. So you could order a bike complete, but it wasn't complete. It was in two different boxes. You get a frame and fork from the manufacturer, then you get a box from us. And it would show up at the bike shop, and you would take the two boxes, combine them together, you would have a complete bike.
Yeah.
At that point, that's what I was doing. Setting up all these boxes, sending them out to dealers, all this thing. And then he came to me one day and said, hey, I had seen this guy come in the building a couple times, and that was Mr. Kuwahara.
Okay.
And he came in and he's talking, and he goes, we want to import these bikes. And we weren't sure if we want to call it a Kuwahara, because at that point, it's the 70s.
Right.
Japanese parts weren't the thing, Japanese are cheap and all this stuff. So we almost didn't call it a Kuwahara. So a couple of months. What was it
going to be called?
Well, the company itself is called Everything Bicycles. The first bike I had, we just put Everything Bicycle stickers on it.
Okay.
Didn't have Kuwahara stickers. Because I picked up the very first two bikes from Customs a couple weeks later and brought them in the shop, built them up. They were just white frames with no stickers on them. So when we raced, we put Everything Bicycle stickers on them just to make them look like they were bicycles,
Right. And
at that point, we weren't sure. So Howie had the bright idea that he would put an ad in BMX Action saying, this is the new brand, Kuwahara. It just wrote it out. And it said, if you could say the name, he gave you an 800 number. You call this number, and if you could say the name, we'll send you a sticker pack.
That's cool.
So that's how he got name recognition. So people would call, and when I got there, I'd answer the phone, hi, Everything Bicycle, and they'd say, I'm here to say the name. Oh, yeah. And they would say Cowabunga or whatever. They totally mess it up. And I would say, no, Kuwahara. And they would say, Kuwahara. Oh, good. I'll just send you the thing. So everyone got a sticker pack. It didn't matter. Everyone got a sticker pack. So that's the thing. I did that for a couple years. The bike itself grew up, it became what it became. And I worked for Everything Bicycles Kuwahara. I was kind of on the team, but I wasn't on the team because the guy that ran the team didn't really dig me. He thought I was a spoiled kid because Howie would give me anything I wanted,
Oh.
I was riding around on real nice, like for a long time I was on a Powerlight, and the rinks were really good to me. They gave me parts and stuff. So I always, rode their bike. And
Right.
then Howie said, "Hey, I can't pay you out of the team budget. So we got an idea." So we were selling these posters, and he made an ad in the back of the magazine for me, and all the posters and power light pads I sold, all that money would go to me to go racing.
Oh, wow.
So I got to do that for a while, and
Right.
I went along. I did that. I was a part-time employee for a long time, doing all that kind of stuff for them. Anything they needed, I would do. I would
Right.
go to the airport with Howie. I would travel, and then they started sponsoring big races like the Grand Nationals, the
Okay.
1980 Grand Nationals in Oklahoma City.
Right.
I went there with them and set up all the banners and did all the stuff. Did those 80 and 81, and then I just continued racing. But I was riding really good bikes, and everybody thought I was factory sponsored because I had all these factory bikes and stuff. But I was just lucky where I got in and how he took care of me.
Right.
And the people that the article that they put in the thing, the ad for all that stuff, it was under a pseudonym called Dr. BMX.
Okay.
So every time I would send something out, I would send him a letter from Dr. BMX. And my tagline at the end was, "May all your races be first places," signed Dr. BMX.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So I had the little tag, and that helped me out for a long time. And then Steve Johnson from Max would give me pants, and I learned that. And then I started going to the magazine because I would drop off all the ads to the magazine or
Right.
do this kind of stuff for the magazine. And so I was always there. So that's when I ran into Bob Harrow the first time. I've
Okay.
known him from the races, but we weren't really, we were hi, kind of thing. And I knew he made all these cool plates, and he had made me a really cool plate. And so we started talking, became friends. At that point, he started factory plates, which became Harrow Designs.
Right.
And we would be in his living room, and I'd be in the kitchen, and he'd be in the living room stickering up the plate. He handed it to me. I'd over the stove, heat it up, bend it. And if you remember, the old Harrow plates had a little bend to them.
Yeah.
He would heat it up, and he'd bend it, hold it, set it on a set of bars, see it's okay, and then throw it in a box. And I'd do that half the day,
That is
and,
cool.
things like that. And then,
Right.
like I said, I was an average racer. I was better than most, but not as good as great, And I always
Okay.
did everything I could to go to the races, and I stuck with it. I traveled with the teams, and then I got on a lot of little teams. Saber Racing helped me out. Vans helped me. Just
Right.
little things like that. But I always had I always had a good bike because I still was at Everything Bicycle, so I could pretty much go through the shelves and pick what I wanted, and
Right.
so I had a really cool.
Nice.
And it went on like that for a lot of years, started racing nationals, ran into Mike Miranda when Mike Miranda wasn't all that good. We were competing together in the back, and then he took off and he became superstar. And it was like that all the time, the Lonkareviches, Pete's dad was really good to me. He was always nice to me. Things that David Clinton, I always looked up to him, Stu Thompson, Perry Kramer. And then in 1980, late 82, we were at a trade show, and our booth was here and SC's booth was here. So me and Scott, we were pretty close to being crazy. So me and Scott went out to lunch. We did some herbicides, and I came back, and Howie fired me.
Oh. Oh
Yeah.
no.
So I went to go work for Scott Bryhop at that point. So I went to go work
Right.
at SC. I worked at SC for a year, rode for them for that year. And then like a year, it may have been not even a year, Howie called me and said, no, you need to come back. You know. So I went back there, did all that stuff. And at that point is when the ET thing comes around.
Right.
I was working, basically I was logistics for the team. If everything the team needed came through me, all the advertising came through me. You know, if you were like on the team, you would call and say, hey, I need a new pair of pants, or I need this, or I need that. I would pack it up, send it out. And I did all that. Plus I was doing all the promotional stuff. I did ads. There was this lady, Yvette Barnett.
Okay.
She did all the BMX ads out of Barnett and Associates. The tune ad, I did a tune ad, me on a bike. I'll have to send it to you so you understand what I'm talking about. And then I kind of went out and started doing more and more on my own. And at that point, working at Everything Bicycles didn't pay a lot. So I had a real job. My parents owned laundromats and stuff. So I started helping out fixing those things. So I was doing the bike stuff and the laundromat stuff at the same time. And then I was at Everything Bicycles doing my thing. And this group of people come in the office and they ask Howie. They come in and they talk to Howie. And he kind of shuffles me in and says, sit down and listen, you know. And they made an offer to him like, hey, we're making this movie about this alien, and we need some bicycles. Can you give us bicycles? And Howie, the man he is, said, no, we're not giving you bikes. Have a nice day, and kind of shuffled him out the door. And at that point, I thought it was over. I thought that it's not, I'm not. Like, a day later, they come back, show up. And this time she has a full contract. She has, you know, if you give us the bikes, we'll give you exclusive rights to this. He just finished this movie called Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, and still at that point, I didn't know who Steven Spielberg was.
Right. It was before he was super big.
Yeah, but he did. He kind of knew. And he goes, okay, we'll do this. And then they come up and they say, but we have 10 days to get all this done. I need the bikes in 10 days.
Oh, wow.
So Howie pretty much tells me, go pick out, I think we picked out 15, 20 bikes, pull them off the thing. I had to untake them all apart because they had all these color schemes they wanted on these bikes.
Oh.
So so I pull all the bikes, take all the bikes apart, and we take them to this painter. And Howie, in his ways, he could talk anybody into anything. I swear to God. He goes, hey, will you shut your doors for 2 days and paint all these bicycles for me? And the guy looked at him like, what? You know? But he did it, and we had the bikes all painted within 3 or 4 days. I put all the bikes together. And then I don't know if you've seen the pictures of me at the studios with the bikes.
Yes.
I show up at the studio and I'm showing Steven the bikes and stuff and talking to him. And he goes, oh, wow, good. This is what I want the kids to do. He shows me the storyboards. And I looked back at him and said, and I, like I said, I had no clue who this little guy with the beard, with no beard, he didn't have a beard at the time, who he was, because he looked like a little kid with glasses.
Right.
And he goes, this is what I want these kids to do. And I looked at him like, they can't do that. And he looked at me like, how do you know? What do you know? What do you know about bicycles? I said, I ride bicycles every day. This is what I do. And I just happen to have my bike in the back of my truck. So I run around the studio. I'm doing some jumps and stuff. They didn't look very impressed.
Okay.
You know, because it was him and Kathleen Kennedy and this other producer and this other guy that was money. They're looking at me like, who's this guy running around on a bike? So Steven used to park his Porsche 911 up against this concrete loading dock. Right. And I'm thinking, yeah, ooh, over the car. At that point, everyone's eyes went, ah, you know. And then I come back and they go, oh, so where can we find more kids like you? You know, where, you know. So at that point, and that time when BMX, you could go to a local Ascot, which is our local track, and there'd be 1,000 kids there on a Wednesday night.
Right.
You know, we had 47 motos on a Wednesday night.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's great.
You know, so I told them, you come out to Ascot on any day, Wednesday or Friday, and you could find kids, you know, that could do this. So that next Wednesday, they showed up, a group of them, Kathleen Kennedy and a bunch of other producers, and they set up a little area on the picnic table. And one would go out, grab a kid, bring him in, take a Polaroid shot, ask him to fill out some stuff, ask him information. And they did that all night long. And next thing I know is I'm supposed to go to the studio to set up these bikes for these kids. And the kids are going to show up. And this was in the valley, the San Fernando Valley, the Reseda area.
Right.
So we show up there, and all the kids they picked were like all my friends. Like one of my best friends, David Lee, you know, Chris Taylor, who was a local. Then there was Seppi Mays, who lived right across the street from me.
Okay.
You know, and then a couple other kids. And then the funny part is when I got there, I noticed the truck sitting there, and that looks like Bob Harrow's truck. Why is that here? So I walk over, and it's Bob. Hey, yeah, somebody called me and said that they're doing this movie. They wanted some help. And I didn't know you. And so we just started talking and found out that he was involved. And at that point, I'm standing by these trailers, and this little lady runs up to me, short little lady, glasses down to here, you know, with her notepad, and says, "Are you Robert Cardoza?" And I said, "Yes." She goes, "You need to go to wardrobe." And I looked at her like, "What?" She goes, "You need to go to wardrobe. You're the double for Greg." And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, Steven wants you for sure." He said he signed off. So I go to wardrobe. They set me all up, you know. And in most every scene you see Greg in, that's me. So
That's
Gotcha.
cool, man.
and we did this movie and kind of did this movie because
Right.
truthfully, I've done 3 other movies that I've never seen.
Okay.
I've done 2 or 3 commercials that I've hardly seen. And then I've done a Schwinn commercial. I've done a Kool-Aid commercial, things like that you
Right.
hardly saw. So we didn't really think anything of it. It's just another one of those things. We got paid a couple $100 to do stuff. I was getting paid by the studio and the Everything Bicycle, so I was okay. I'm good with it. And then they invite us to go to the premiere, not the actual premiere, the studio premiere when they test it.
Okay.
So it's me and David Lee. We drive into Studio City. We're late as all hell. So we pull in, we park. There's this big amphitheater. It doesn't exist anymore, but it was a big amphitheater. And we're running up the stairs, and we hear this lady pounding on the door with her shoe. "Let me in, let me in. My daughter's in this movie. Let me in." Crack, crack, crack. So we get behind her, and we're looking at her. "She'll get us in. Watch." Bam, bam. And I look down, and it's the little girl from the movie. Well, you know, that's Drew Barrymore, not knowing
Yes.
Drew Barrymore, but that was Drew Barrymore and her mom. And so
Oh,
they come and open the door, and they let us in.
wow.
And then so it's all people from the studio, brass, all the bigwigs, all the money people. And then there was a group of studio kids from about 7 to about 11, about 10 or 15 of them, all
Okay.
sitting behind us. And they do that to get reactions, you know.
Right.
And they sat us right in front of them. So we're sitting there. The movie starts. It's a lot better than we thought it was going to be, you know. And then we were always taught, if you can catch a kid's eye or ear for 30 seconds, you'll have a hit. So we're going through the movie, and they get to the scene where E.T. dies, right? or he's dying. And the
Right.
little kids behind us are all crying and,
Aw.
God, please don't let E.T. die. Don't let E.T. die. And we're like, oh, shit. Because you know at that point, if you've got their ear and eye, you've got a hit.
Yeah, exactly.
The movie played on. These kids were engaged through the whole thing. When the bike scenes came on, they were cheering and singing, and it was like we're all kind of like, no, really, you know. And we walked out of there thinking, oh my God, this could be something. And 2 weeks later, there was lines down the block. It was the number one movie in the world, and people, but no one knew who we were because there is no recognition through the whole movie of us. The only thing, if you
mentioned in the credits?
Yeah, if you go all the way down to the very end of the credits, there's a thing that says thank you to Everything Bicycles. That's it. That's all it says.
Oh no.
That was it. We were basically hired as scabs.
Right.
We weren't in the union. We weren't allowed to be. And a lot of the parents that brought these kids in to do these stunts were really pissed. So between my parents and a couple other parents had called Steven's office and kind of left the riot act on him. Well, a week later, he put a full page ad in the Hollywood Reporter thanking us all by name.
Oh,
Awesome.
nice.
There you go.
So we got our recognition, but the only people that sees Hollywood Reporter are studio people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So we still didn't get what we got. I mean, and then I got a couple articles in newspapers and in magazines, and then BMX Plus did a 3-page article about everything. But that was really about it. And then at that point, we're in the late 80s and BMX is dropping off.
Okay.
Okay. Everything Bicycles is going to close. 1986. Okay. They're going to close. So I happen to be in the Vans shoe company hanging out because Everett Rosecrans used to give me shoes to take to races to give to kids when he couldn't go. So I just happened to be in that office at that time. And I was walking down the hallway and I go by Jim Van Doren's office and he goes, come here, kid. So he drags me into his office, shut the door. And he tells me, hey, me and Junior, that's Jim Van Doren Jr. and Jim Van Doren, we're leaving Vans to start a new shoe company called Awesome Shoes. And so he asked me if I would be his Everett Rosecrans at Awesome Shoes. So I went to go work with him at Awesome Shoes.
Awesome.
And
yeah.
I did all their promotions and advertising. I set up their team. I did all the stuff like that with them for a couple of years. And then that's how I met Jane, the wife I have today.
Right.
Because her dad was an importer of the product. Okay. And she came over for the Reno Bike Show one year. And I got stuck with her to take her to the Reno Bike Show. Oh, yes. She always reminds you of my trip to the mall.
Right.
She that was the best thing. I got to go to the mall.
Oh.
You know? But we went to the Reno Bike Show and did our thing. And on the way home from the Reno Bike Show, I drive fast. And coming through Independence, California, I got pulled over.
Oh.
Well, at that time, you got to remember, there's only radios in the cars. There's no computers. There's no nothing. Okay. So he pulls me over, tells me to come over here. He looks at my license. They run my license. Says, you have a warrant out of Orange County. What?
What?
I have a warrant. He said, yeah, I have to take you in. Jane, who never driven in the United States, is in the passenger seat of my mom's car that I used to take there. And they cuff me, throw me in the car. And they go to her and tell her, hey, you need to follow me because I'm taking him to jail. So this guy in one of those old little Mustangs, they used to drive, 2-seater Mustangs they used to drive, flies down the road. Jane follows him like a bat out of hell, and they get to this jail that it's the same jail they threw the Manson family in when they found them at Spawn Ranch.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So they throw me in jail, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on at all, really. I've never been in jail. I've never been in trouble. And I guess Jane was outside, and I'm saying, Jane, help me, get me out of here. And then she's like, fuck you, wanker. Get out of here. I'm out of here. So literally from that point on, I didn't see her again. I didn't know what happened to her. I don't know nothing. She just, but what I understand is she made a couple phone calls. She called the Van Dorens. Junior had to come pick her up in the middle of, because we were on our way to take her to the airport. So they took her to the airport and dropped her off. And like I said, I never saw her again.
Oh, no. Oh.
So, but I spent 4 days in jail.
For what? What did you do? Like,
Hold
really?
on. It gets better. It gets much better.
Okay.
So I'm in there, and the jail is kind of like, do you remember Mayberry RFD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember how people would come into jail, like the drunk, the local drunk would come in, and they would all, hey, Charles, how you doing? Oh, I got blasted, got to spend it, 2 days in jail. Well, when I came in there, there was no one in this jail, just a big jail with 4 or 5 different rooms. And I'm sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden I hear them going, Billy, oh, what happened? The wife kick you out there? Yeah, I was out drinking. Oh, yeah, I got caught by Billy Bob, and he told me I got to spend 2 days in here or whatever it was. So he comes in. He knows all the routine. He knew where everything was. He was just like, he turns the channel of TV for what he wants. And then about 40 minutes later, this other guy, like Billy Bob's brother, oh, yeah, I got in a fight at the bar. With Chester. Chester's coming in too. So there's 4 guys. And within 2 days, there's like 6 guys. They all know each other. The cops all know who they are. They're like, yeah, it was so weird. So I'm just listening to him talk about how the wife yelled at him. He went and got drunk. He was driving too fast. He got his tractor caught in the ditch. Oh, it was hilarious. So they have to get me to Orange County, and we're in Independence. So they're going to fly me on a private airplane from Independence, California to Orange County, California. So that Thursday comes, the guy goes, hey, come on, get your stuff. Let's go. So the cop takes me. We go to this local little airport, and we get in this plane, 2-seater. He goes, everything good? He said, I'm not cuffing you, so don't worry about it. Just kick back. So we get up, we're flying around, and we're about a third of the way there, and he's looking at this clipboard and laughing. I'm thinking, what's he laughing about? And he's like, and then he gets on the radio, and he's throwing numbers at each other. Is that a 577? You sure? No. You sure? And he looks at me. Do you know why you're in jail? And I said, I haven't got a clue. He said, I haven't. And then the guy talks to the other guy again. He goes, you're positive. And then he goes, do you want to know why you're in jail? And I said, yeah, please. He goes, you got I rode my bicycle on the pier at Orange County at Huntington Beach and got a $13 ticket. What? And I didn't pay, and I must have not paid it, and it went to warrant. But like I said, they weren't supposed to arrest me for that ticket. They weren't supposed to do anything, but just because they all had his radios, and it just said warrant. Oh, no. They did it. So
they didn't know what the warrant was for.
Yeah. So we fly into Orange County. They run me through the system. He hands me a bedroll, so I figure I'm staying the night. I walk in. they show me where a thing is. As soon as I got to where the jail door was, this guy yells, "Hey, he doesn't go in." And I go, "What's he want? He got to go to a different room." He goes, "Come with me." So we walk down the hallway, and I have a bedroll in my hand. He goes, "There's a pile of bedrolls laying there." He goes, "Throw it there." I threw it there. And he walks me in this hallway, and he goes, "Go knock on the green door." It was a slider, little door. And she'll tell you what's going on. So I go knock on the door. This older lady opens the door, and she goes, "Your name?" "Yeah." And tells me my name. She goes, "Here's a bag. It's all my clothes and everything I had, and an envelope." And she goes, "Go to that room, get dressed, and go to the brown door and push the button." So I did everything, went through the door, go to the door, push the button, the door opens, I'm outside.
What?
And but what was even funnier is my mom is sitting on a bench right there.
Oh
And I'm
my
like,
gosh.
what's going on? And it basically, and then I looked in the little envelope, and there was like $47 in there because they had to pay me because they put me in jail.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That whole thing, it was all
Horrible
dismissed. It was,
experience.
yeah.
Oh,
So
that's crazy. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my whole life. That is insane.
yeah.
So,
So-
how old were you at this time? How old were you?
19, 20, maybe.
Jeez.
Goes to jail for riding a bike.
Go to
Here.
jail for riding a bike. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I got fired from Awesome Shoes. So
Oh.
I was already doing repairs for appliance repairs and stuff. So I got
Right.
hired by Maytag as the Maytag man,
Okay.
and I started doing that. 2 years later, I got married and moved off to Palm Springs and lived in Palm Springs. Had 2 kids. Was married for 17 years. And then she decided she wanted something else, and she split.
Oh.
So that all ended. And at that point, I had been riding BMX a little here and there, but I was working all the time, so I didn't really have time.
Right. Right.
So when I got a divorce, I moved back to Torrance and
Right.
ran into a bunch of my friends that are now racing road bikes.
Okay.
So they got me into racing road bikes, and at that point I was really good. And so I worked for a company called what was it? Tri-Labs. Triathlon Laboratories.
Okay.
And then I met these people from Triathlon Zombies, and they had a team, and they wanted me to join them. So I joined them, and I started training all their youngsters how to ride a bike properly. And then
Cool.
on certain days, if they sold a high-end bike to one of these ladies that really didn't know how to ride, I got volunteered into 3 days of riding. I take them out, show them how to use the gears. Second day, show them how to do a little bit, and the third day, as a free thing, that was kind of you paid $5,000 for a bike. You got
Right.
me for 3 days. So I did
Right.
that. Plus, I was training kids to learn how to ride road bikes. So I did that for and that'd be 2006. From 2006 to 2009, I was racing road bikes.
Right.
At 2009, I had a really bad crash, a really bad road bike crash. So I was off the bike and kind of over it at that point.
Right.
And I had a friend call me and say, "Hey, we're doing this BMX reunion at Bellflower BMX. We want you to come." I said, "I don't want to come. I've been there, done that. These people, don't even remember who I am or anything, And they go, "No, you got to come. Everybody wants you to come." "I don't have a bike." "Oh, I have a bike for you." "Damn. I don't have a helmet." Damn. And I'm thinking, I don't even have a jersey. I have all that stuff. Shut up. Show up on Saturday and we'll do this. So I show up to this old school event, like one of the very, very first ones. And I go there and I see the track again, and it all like wow, I remember. And then I run into all these people that I was racing with and all these names, and we're all looking at each other and all this stuff. And I raced that first race, and I got second. I got second on a borrowed bike, with a borrowed helmet.
Right.
And I'm thinking, this was fun. Way more fun than riding the road bike, And so I did all that. And then that next Monday, I went to the local bike shop and brought a brand new BMX bike.
There you go.
Nice. What'd you buy?
And I had a red line, one of the red line kit bikes. At that time, they had a complete red line 24-inch bikes. So I bought a red line 24. It was white with gold parts on it. It was really cool.
Nice.
So I started out on that. A friend of mine gave me a Flovo Flyer.
Okay.
So I had one of those too. So I started racing a little here, a little more. Next thing I know, I'm on a bike shop team. Next thing you know, I'm doing nationals, and I haven't stopped since. And that
you just kept on going.
Yeah, and it was more. It was the most comfortable thing to just fall back into it, because there was so many people that I didn't remember who I was or knew who I was, and they said, yeah. So I did that, and I started racing. I got really good in my age group. I kept increasing, I got a number one, and then another number one, and started doing more and more. I got on, and at that point, I'm moving to Arizona.
Okay.
And I had a friend, Greg Mathis, who ran Fall Risk Racing.
Okay.
He had a bike shop at that point still. And he goes, oh, you want to join the team? So I joined them, raced for them for 5 years, I think. And then I joined a guy that bought the name Race Incorporated. Started racing for Race Incorporated, which today I still ride for them.
Okay.
Which is actually ABC, American BMX company.
Okay.
And like I say, I've never stopped, and it just, I do things for other stuff, but the BMX thing has been constant since then. And it was the only thing
what's kept you so focused since then? Like, I mean, you walked away for quite a while. So what's kept you? Is it just it's the
camaraderie. Well, it's the camaraderie, the family feel, especially like when we were on Fall Risk Racing, Holly Dunn.
Yes.
Holly Dunn was on the team.
Right.
Chris Sutton, people like that. We were all a family. We'd travel to the races, all over the place. And we were just family. And we got to know each other more as a family than a race team. And you get these feelings. And that's what I like about it, is it's a family sport that most people don't know about. Because if you know baseball or football, those stick and ball sports, they're way over competitive. Parents don't know how to say no or take care. They're just odd people,
right?
So
Holly wants to know, who is your favorite Fall Risk teammate?
Holly Dunn.
I think she was wanting to hear you say it. Look at that.
Yeah, we had some great trips. That whole group was great. And like I say, I mean, I love the sport because I remember when we were still riding on little empty lots.
Yeah.
And then it changed to more manicured dirt tracks.
Right.
And then it changed again to these new modern pump tracks, as I would call them. You know, and then concrete corners, and now the sealant, and knobby tires. Now you're on slick tires, and everybody used to run a seat post about this high. Now everybody runs a seat post this high.
Yeah.
I've watched the progression of the sport from the very beginning to what it is today. From when we talked about the Olympics in the 80s, when it didn't happen, to when it came in the 90s, and how Olympics have changed the sport all over the world.
Right.
Not always for the better.
Right.
I'm still not the biggest fan of the big hill. I think we lose.
Not.
I think we lose a lot of kids because parents come to the track and they see this big hill, and the parents are like, "No, my kid ain't going down that hill," and so they end up going somewhere else and playing baseball or soccer or something like that because they're more afraid of what could happen.
Right.
And then at the Olympics, our superstar just about kills himself, which probably scared a lot of people, But as I always put it, this sport is the best family sport as long as you don't take it too seriously. Take it serious enough to do it, but if you take it too seriously, you're just going to burn yourself out overtraining, or burn yourself out by thinking that everyone has better equipment than you. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. Sean Gifford asked in the comments, what is your favorite frame?
Kuwahara bicycles.
Good choice. So they were actually like a really small company out of Japan, weren't they? Isn't that what that was?
Yeah, they were small, and when I came back to racing, there was a time when the people at ABC bought the name Kuwahara for the United States. So I started importing bicycles from Japan and racing the Kuwahara bicycles. I raced them 4 years, 5 years, and then the company, because of the pandemic and stuff, their business kind of flipped, and then everything went to China.
Yeah,
and they were building, and he doesn't want to. BMX really burnt him, the Kuwahara people. So he didn't really want to come back. He was building bikes for me, but he really didn't have the ambition to do it anymore. So he would build 50 bikes for me, cruisers, 20-inch bikes. And that's why Giffy says that, because they've been running Kuwaharas ever since I've known them, because I introduced them to that. And we've been trying to get Taha Kuwahara to introduce a new bike. He wants to do it, but at this point, we're still in these times where the cost isn't affordable. He allows me to use the name, but he doesn't want me to make bikes in the United States, and so we're working on stuff. Hopefully, within the next 18 months or so, we may see something pop up.
That would be cool.
That would be more than cool.
We're working on a couple things, but at this point, the Hot Shop company is Jane's dad's original company from the 80s.
Oh.
When I got back with Jane, I asked her, "Is the Hot Shop still around?" And she said, "Not really." So we reintroduced it. I think it's 5 years now, huh? Yeah, it's been 5 years. And now we have the Giffers. Remy is on a Kuwahara running the Hot Shot name for us here in the States. And now I know they picked up 2 other girls. I don't know their names yet. We will find out. And then I have a full, I think it's 10-man team in the UK, which Bob Harrow is helping us with designing, uniforms, and then he's introducing a new product under the Iconics name, and hopefully we'll see something with that soon too. And it's just been that I love the sport. I just want to spread it out. So I'm more happy to bring more people into the sport than anything else. Winning anymore is not really I don't really care. I'm 50. I'm 65 years old. I go to the races. If I don't win, I don't win. If I get last, I get last. If I make a trophy, I get a trophy. I'm good. I just want to be there doing it, having fun, enjoying myself. That is my relaxation. Going to the track, riding my bike, spending time. And that's like with Jane. Jane is always, she's my backbone. She sets up my races. She sets up all the logistics and stuff to go to the tracks, airplanes, and all the other stuff. So I always have her around to do that, and she really enjoys that. And she knows a lot of the people in the industry from being in the industry as long as I have, and
Right.
so
That's cool.
we enjoy it. It's like this coming up weekend. We're all going to Dirty Fest, and
Whoa.
it's Dirty Fest is like I say, none of us real BMXers ever went to high school stuff because we're out doing BMX stuff.
Right. Exactly.
So all our friends from high school aren't from high school; they're from BMX.
Right.
So an event like this brings all these people back together.
Kind of like a high
And
school reunion. Yes.
It's our high school reunion. Yes. Yeah, and you
So-
know,
That's cool.
When you think about those days, then being that you guys didn't do like the typical like football sports and you baseball, you did something different. I kind of look at BMX and skateboarding, all the stuff that people were doing back then is more of like an outlaw sport. How did you look at it? Was it kind of like the circle of the wild kids, or do you think you were just a bunch of kids that just had a different love for something different?
we were always. This is how we looked at it. We were what we called ourselves the GDIs, and they
Okay.
what is that? That's
Yep.
goddamn. That's goddamn individual.
I love it. You were just your own person.
Yeah.
So you guys,
yeah.
you weren't out there like destroying things or being like,
No.
we were just out
But
riding.
you gotta remember, 70s and 80s kids are way different than kids today.
Yeah.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have anything like that. If we wanted to go somewhere, we jumped on our bikes and we went somewhere.
Right.
And we were on our bikes all day.
Right.
Like my mom would basically throw us out of the house, go, come back when the lights come on,
Yes, exactly.
if you want something to drink, the hose is outside,
Right.
And so we were on our bikes and traveling to all these places and living in Torrance. We had tracks, we had BMX action that we could ride to. Everything bicycles was in Torrance. At one time on the same street, you had BMX action, and then down the street was ODI grips, and then on the corner was everything bicycles.
Okay.
And then just the other side of town was Odyssey, and
Right.
then a couple other. At one point, Hutch had a warehouse in town. There was a lot. We just had everything around. And then at that point we had two tracks: Harbor BMX, Ascot BMX, and
Okay.
the tracks were great. And like I said, we just did our thing. We didn't know it was different. We didn't, because all the people we hung out did it.
Yep.
And then you start losing people around 15, 16, 17 because they get licenses.
Yes.
And then they discover what girls are like. And so between girls and cars, you'd lose half your group.
right.
And
it's still true today, I think, too. I
If not
think it's
more.
still true today.
yeah, and then living in Southern California, I was 5 minutes from the beach,
Right.
40 minutes from skiing, an hour and a half to the desert.
That's amazing.
So whatever you wanted to do, we could do.
Right.
And so we were traveling, doing what we wanted. We're not like the kids today. We were very independent. We didn't need parents didn't tell us, oh, you had to do this, you do this. Oh, I'm gonna go to the races. How are you getting there? They didn't ask. You just got there.
You just went there. Yeah.
You come back and you have a trophy or something. They're like, where'd you get that from?
Yeah. So
and
do you think a lot of people say too, like especially from this age standpoint, like Dan's age, your age, that biking and bicycling BMX was their first taste of freedom?
oh yeah, I always say that. That's that was my thing. I even mentioned in one of the articles I had written that my bicycle was my escape because home life wasn't always the greatest.
Right.
Pops and me didn't get along all that well.
Okay.
So I would get on my bike and I would go to my friend's house, or I'd travel this place. And then on weekends, I'd go racing with friends, things like that. Because Pops he wasn't really big on the bike end of it. He wanted me to do the motorcycle thing, but I didn't really do the motorcycle thing. So we kind of had conflicts. He was his own thing. He's a 50s guy, He had a different way of looking at the world than we did, So it was always things like that. But with us, it was really funny when the cruiser class started coming into effect. Like when I turned 40, when I was in 41 to 46 cruiser, I started seeing guys from the 80s show up 1 or 2 times. And then when I got into 46 to 50, I started seeing more of them show up, and it was like, it was strange because you get on the gate and you'd look around and you go, this is the same gate I had in 1983.
Right. That's
Really,
awesome.
everyone on the gate was the same people.
Right.
And we would have so much fun going down the track and you're yelling at each other, get out of the way, do that, you're slow, you're old, And then the bikes got better and the riders got better. And as it kept going and going more and more, and the groups from 40 to 60 have increased in size, you can't believe. You go to a SoCal National or a Arizona National or someplace like Vegas, you'll run into people you haven't seen for 20 years, but they're there because they want to be involved, you know?
Right.
And you would laugh because they're bringing their grandkids, not always their kids to race, their grandkids. So they're introducing a whole new group of people.
Right.
And it was always that way. More and more people. And if you look at BMX, you'll notice it's families. You'll find this little kid. How did you get started? My mom raced in the 80s, or my dad raced in the 80s, or there's always a connection. Oh, my uncle took me to the track, or because he raced. It's not like you go to baseball and everybody wants to do baseball or football. It's nothing like that. These are people that truly love to ride their bike. And so they introduce it to the younger half of their family and they try to bring them in. And I'd say close to half the time they stick around. And they continue the saga. And now you get a lot of these kids that were little kids that are now, teenagers, 20-year-olds, and they may have a kid and they're putting them on a strider or something and they're there riding. And it continues the saga of BMX. And that's what's good about it. It is a family-run thing. Everyone's the track, they're all ran by families, The dad's watering, the mom's scoring, the sister's helping out here in the snack bar, The brother is the only one racing. And then you have a Mother's Day race, and the mother races the first time, and she goes, oh, I like this. And she starts racing over 40 girls or something,
Yeah.
And it's just this progression. And the sport itself really brings that out in the groups of people. I love Supercross, motocross, and you run into the same people that do Supercross, motocross than BMX. And then you have a lot of those people that were BMXers that are now superstars in motocross, supercross.
Very true. Very true. They cross over quite a bit. That's for sure.
It's a big crossover, a lot more than people know. And that's another thing I don't understand why USA BMX doesn't try to get with felt and put something together. They do a dirt jump contest at the races, but it doesn't promote us as a BMX race. And I think there's room for that, help them help us. We, like I say, your fan base is pretty. The crossover is almost perfect.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's and so what do you think? So you think it's growing still? You think that we're continually growing? Do you think
Yeah,
can
but
grow
you got to
fast?
remember, it's kind of like a waterfall.
Yeah.
The water continues to go up, but it's falling off. We lose, in age-wise, a lot of people losing because they're getting older. And then
Right.
you have the same thing I was saying in the 80s. They get to like 14, 15, 16, they get a license. 17, they've discovered girls. They want to go out and do things besides riding their bike. And especially if you're like 6 and 7 years old when you start, you've now been racing for 8 years,
Yeah.
9 years. And you're kind of, especially some of these parents that really push,
Yeah.
these kids are over it. They're like, oh, I'm done.
Right.
I want to go do something else.
Right.
And that's where the fun goes away. And that's why now the side hacks are coming back because it's fun. It's just something fun to do. It's different, but you're still doing the same thing. You're riding a BMX bike on a dirt track, having a good time, laughing half the time more than you are riding,
Right.
And it's all this new discovery stuff. And then like Dirty Fest,
Yes.
and Frogtown, the parents or the people that are riding bring their kids that never seen a real dirt track. They've been to the BMX races where it's cement and all that glue stuff, and people are putting their foot down in the corner. Why are they putting their foot down in the corner? Or look at the dust. It's home shots and people doing cross ups again, and and you see the fun again back. The fun part of the sport.
Right. Exactly.
So those old school events promote the new school stuff.
Yes.
But they bring in these new school kids that are used to racing on these manicured tracks, and oh no, the wheel's getting away. Oh, I got to put my foot down in the corner. You're not clipped in, so you wear tennis shoes when you ride, and so you have all these new discoveries that help bring the sport out more. But I think this old school kind of this new wave of old school stuff is really helping the sport altogether. But I think more people are liking this old way of racing again, and really enjoying it. And you have a lot of people that are just racing these old school races and not racing the modern race. But then you get some of these guys that were just racing these old school races that have now discovered new school racing and came back to the new school racing.
Yeah.
So it's enough of this going through that you see it. It's not going away anywhere. All right.
Right.
A little bit is, I think we need a second sanction to cause a little bit of this. In the old days we had ABA and NBL, and they would fight it out. Oh, are you going to the NBL race this weekend, or are you going to the ABA race this weekend?
Right.
Are you chasing points in NBL, or are you chasing points in ABA?
I said that for a couple of years, and then Beer Budget just pulled up a good deal. If you in Hollywood, Miranda would open y'all's own sanction,
we would be in a better place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But like I say, these old school events are really driving the sport. And then you have the big wheel, big bike scene, the wheelie kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like the premise of that. I don't really like the kids that are chopping and trying to avoid cars and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That bothers me a bit. It takes a little bit of luster away. But then you'll go out to some of these big rides, and there'll be 500 people from every age group riding big bikes down the road, just having fun, talking, laughing, And then they have these new companies coming out like Billet and like Evil Alloy that are building all these new school, beautiful jewelry for your bicycle.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
so you can't. Like I say, the Evil Alloy guys, they help me out a little, and I really enjoy it, and I just love looking at their parts because they're always so beautiful. You know, and it reminds me of in the 80s when the first set of Hutch pedals came out, and we all went, "Oh my God, they're round!" You know, and they have these points on them, the side, you know, the big old sharp things that would eat your shoes. That would literally eat your shoes. You know,
But
things
you
like
didn't
that.
slip a pedal, huh?
Yeah, and then you have.
Real good too.
Yeah.
And then you have the thing where if you ask most people on the street and you go, I race BMX, and they go, oh, you do the ramps and stuff? And you're like, no, I race BMX. And therein lies another big problem we have is name recognition has gone this way instead of towards us. So when you say BMX, they think freestyle racing or freestyle riding. And so that kind of confuses people. So they're saying, oh, you do BMX? Oh, so you do the ramps or you do the little trickies? No, I race. You race?
Right.
BMX stands for bicycle motocross.
Exactly.
You know? So those are those little things that I'm bothered with that I don't know if everyone is, but that bothers me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it bothers me too. It's a constant thing whenever we talk about, you know, what we do in our spare time, and, you know, we're heavy into BMX racing. They all think that, you know, everybody thinks we're out there doing this crazy stuff on bikes, when really and truly we're competing. We're competing, and that's what it's about, right? So
yeah.
And we're definitely those people too who have, you know, our whole family racing. We have our grandbabies, we have our kids. I mean, we're all out there doing our thing, and definitely want to see it grow and be better and be bigger than it is, because there's so much potential for it, for sure.
Yeah, we also need to bring the sport back to the local tracks.
Right.
The national circuit is great here's the thing. You go to a national, you see these people, and you go to the next national, you see the same people. You go to the next national, you see the same people. You go to your local track, you see 3 or 4 of those people there, and then all these local people, and not a lot of local people. So the promotion wise of the sport does not promote the local racing as much as I think they should. I think that would help the sport grow more. Same with the big hill. I'm not a big fan of the big hill, as I always say. You know, stuff like that. You know, but if we can increase the moto counts at local races, the moto counts at nationals increase. If we increase the moto count at local races, they'll bring in more people. You know, we need to do more promotions with the city you're in, with the local clubs and stuff. You know, when I was racing, a lot of the tracks were like the Orange Y or the Fountain Valley Boys Club, or, you know, the Boy Scout. Like, we would take our insurance through the Boy Scouts for a lot of the tracks.
Right.
You know, it's not like that so much anymore.
Right. So Dan got hurt this past weekend, and one of his big cuts just broke open. So he's got to go grab something.
Well, that's normal. I have plenty of stains on pants because of that.
Right. Well, he's wearing shorts, so it's like going all over the ground. So yeah. He took he calls it a digger. I don't know.
Don't worry. I got 3 plates and 18 screws in my shoulder on my 50th birthday.
Oh no, you did not. Oh my gosh. So how'd that happen? What did you do? Did you do something wrong?
Actually, it was a practice night at Bellflower BMX, fooling around, and we were playing cutoff on each other, and I happened to be at the top of a berm, and one of the little kids came underneath me, and I didn't want to smash him, so I basically stopped at the top of the berm and fell to the bottom.
Oh no!
Onto my shoulder, and it shattered, and so that was a great time, you know.
It sounds like it.
Yeah. and that's about the time when I moved back to when I moved to Arizona, and at the same time, Facebook was really big, and
Right.
I must have been posting pictures, and I get this weird text from this lady, Jane Wendell. Who's this Jane Wendell girl? And she goes, "Are you that guy that got arrested in, you know?" And I'm like, "Are you that English girl?" And she goes, "Yeah." So we started conversing back and forth, and then I invited her to come visit me in Arizona. So she came to visit me, and we hit it off. You know, we were, you know, I at that time I'm divorced 4 or 5 years.
Right.
So I didn't really want to do. I didn't have the feelings of anything like that. But she came in. It was like an old memory,
Right.
you know, and we just clicked, and we discovered that what she did and like I said, I kind of went. So you never even looked for me. Why did you come find me?
I left you in the jailhouse and wanted nothing to do with you.
And she says, I wrote you, you know. So we started talking, and she came over, and we hit it off. And at that time, I was living with someone else, and I needed to get the hell out of there. So I got a new place, and she came over and she started staying. So she stayed for a month or so, and she had to go home because.
Yeah.
So she came one time, and we kind of we really connected. So at that point, we knew that we wanted to be together.
Right.
And she was just getting over a divorce on her own. So we kind of connected, and then 2019 came, and we had all these plans made for 2019, and the big monster came, you know.
Of course.
So at that point, her dad is not well. Okay. And so she needs to go home. So she leaves back to England February 26th. February 28th, they closed the borders.
Wow.
So at that point, she can't come back.
Right. She's there.
So, and if you remember, the only sport still doing anything was BMX.
Right.
We were still getting to race BMX and do things.
Right.
So I went through that whole year, had a really good year. That's when Holly was on our team at the same time. And we go there and we make it all the way to the Grands. So we're at the Grands, and I'm thinking, just before the Grands came, I'm thinking, you know, the Grands has like a showcase where they show all the new products. Tell them you have to come to the States to get the new, to look at the new product.
Right.
You know? So I kind of told her, hey, tell them that you wanted to come do this, and you have to do this. So she came over, and she had a hard time getting over here. She got a visa and everything. They told her, yeah, she can come. But when she got to Heathrow Airport, they kind of read her the riot act and said, hey, you're not going there for this. You're going to go see a boyfriend or something. So they kind of spooked her, you know. In fact, let's bring Jane in.
Let's do it. Bring her in.
Yeah.
Bring her in.
Please. We've been waiting.
Yes. Is she ready?
Yeah.
Bring some tea.
Yeah.
Make some tea.
She has her tea.
Ooh.
Let's see. There she is.
Ouch. There she is. Hi,
Hello.
Jane.
Hello.
How are you?
Let me just turn the light off. Hold on.
The one in the
Okay.
home. No. Okay. There we go. There
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he has been singing your praises this whole
Yes.
time.
Oh,
My first question, and you probably want to dive into something different, is I want to know what you were thinking when they took him away to jail. Like, where was your head at that moment?
I was 18. I mean, I can't even believe that I traveled over on my own.
Right.
It's just so clear in my memory, and it always has been, where I just looked in the rear view mirror to think, oh, hurry up, and then I saw Robert with his hands behind his back, and they were putting him in the cuffing him, and I was just like, what? And I go, what are you doing with him? We're taking him to jail. I said, what do you mean you're taking him to jail? And they said, yeah, he's got a warrant out for his arrest. And I said, well, it's the middle of nowhere. What are you going to do with me?
Right.
I said, well, you'll just have to drive the car and follow me. And I said, well, I've never driven over here before.
Oh.
No insurance or anything. So, and that was, I just remember being outside that little jail, and it was like sort of the Dukes of Hazzard,
Right.
And I was trying to bring my mum, and Robert was, all I could hear him was saying, Jane, help me. I don't know what I've done. And I said, oh,
bugger off.
F off, Robert. And I just remember sat on the bench outside, and I heard this jingling, and I thought, what's that? What is that noise? And the chain gang went past. They all dressed in different coloured jumpsuits, all attached to each other with chains, and they shuffled past me, and I'm going, yeah.
Right.
So anyway, with my suitcase, I walked up the road to this restaurant, and I was just there. I phoned Jimmy Van Doren, and
Oh,
but it's
a cute cat.
and I was there for about 5 hours because Jimmy had to
Drive up.
Yeah.
and then I got back to the airport. They flew me out the next day, and
That was
just
it.
never forgotten. It's always been like a party, a thing to say at a party. Well,
Right.
you never guess what happened to me, in my life. And Robert said that
You never would have guessed you would have ended up marrying him in the long
my
run,
goodness,
though.
and it was just crazy.
She didn't even. She forgot about me the day she.
No, I
When
didn't.
she got on that airplane, she said, "Bugger off."
Bugger off. Yeah. But it's funny because our paths. I mean, I went to the original premiere in London of E.T. And
Yeah.
I'm sort of 17 or 18, and I'm sat there and I'm watching it, and I'm think back now, that's my husband.
That's
But
your-
she didn't know that was me.
I didn't know it was him. No.
Did
But
you
I
ever tell her that? Like when you first met her, did you tell her who you were?
No, she figured it out from Facebook stuff.
Well,
Oh.
when we started chatting, he said something like, "Oh, I was in the movie E.T." And I said, "Oh, okay." And I sort of sat and watched it all the way through, and I was watching the credits, and I thought, no, he wasn't.
She thought I was lying.
But
This
the
is an
story
awesome
goes
story.
way back there, because I was coming over with my dad, Les Windle, going over to ride in Indianapolis. It was at the Jag Championship.
Jack's World Champion, 1980.
1980, and I didn't have a bike, and I was mad on Kuwahara, and I had the first Kuwahara race pants and the helmet and stuff like that, and the pants didn't really quite fit, but anyway.
Right.
And I wrote to Kuwahara, Robert, and I wrote a letter to him and said, I'm coming over for this race, and I love Kuwahara. Are you able to get me a bike? But I wrote it in Japanese.
And I threw it in the trash can.
And he threw it in the I looked it all up and wrote,
You took all that time to write it, and he just trashed it.
never. Well, the thing is, only like probably 6 or 7 years later ago, I actually found the original letter where I'd written, like, it was a copy of it where I traced all the symbols.
Yeah.
So I still got my little notes.
Oh,
Yeah, so we have a lot of weird crossovers that we don't know about. That
right.
because that's what I did when I was at Everything Bicycles. If you sent a letter there, it went to my desk, and
Okay.
for sponsorships, for giveaways, all kinds of stuff. I would get all these letters. So I'd get 50 letters a day or so. So I'm going through that.
Not in Japanese.
Not in Japanese. And so I got this weird letter in Japanese, and I'm like, I can't read this. So it just kind of went in the round file, you know?
Right.
But there's photographs. There's 2 photographs. One that Robert found from ages ago, and there's a picture of him like in his full Kuwahara kit, just sort of,
Yeah.
And then there's a picture of me like in the 80s wearing all my Kuwahara stuff. So we've got Kuwahara in our heart, haven't we?
Oh
really?
yeah. And like I say, with us, it's been this really weird. Oh my God, you were there. I was there. You were there. I was there.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, I remember that. You were there. You know. And then we have close friends. Like she came over for the Jag World Championships in 1981, I think it was, in Las Vegas when they had it indoors at the Tropicana Hotel.
Okay.
And she was there and I was there, but I never saw her.
Right.
And this is before before I did the shoe thing. So she was there, and then her and her dad went off with this family, the McMonacles, Bubba, Patty, and Jennifer, and they drove from Vegas with them. And at that point, the McMonacles, I knew them because when I was at SC, the McMonacles were sponsored by SC, and I would take care of them.
Right.
And the older sister and me got to be friends. Friends
with benefits.
Friends.
I think you guys are my favorite couple ever.
So it was all this stuff, you know, and it's always been that way. When she first got here, a couple of the girls that knew who I was kind of told her, "Hey, you need to stay away from him. He's kind of dangerous."
Right.
You know,
Well,
so
you guys are like a true like BMX love story. Like this is like
it's like a movie, isn't it? You would sit there. You could just sit there and watch this movie about. I want to write a book about it actually, where the first chapter is I looked in the mirror and I saw the guy that I'd been with for sort of a week being handcuffed and put in a, I mean, and then it could go backwards and forwards. It's just, you know,
because we live 2 parallel lives in the same sport together without being together. You understand?
I actually looked him up on Facebook, you see, and I thought, I wonder if he's still alive. You know what happens? You know, was he a mass murderer? And I looked where he was in his race gear. I thought, oh my God.
She's going, he's still racing?
He's still racist? He's old.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so Mr. Justin says, can we ask Robert and Jane if they're going to do another YouTube video of Rob dyeing Jane's hair again?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I do a good job.
He does a good job, yeah.
Oh, at least they're not talking about my video in the bathroom.
Oh my God, that was
They already
terrible.
have.
Yeah, that was way back when. We didn't bring that one up.
No,
I don't know what I'm inviting with this cruise. So
he did this. I mean, I was in England at the time, and he posted this YouTube thing where he was in our sort of bathroom, and he was doing some stickers or something on his, and he said, "Hi, you know, this is this, you know," and I'm looking in the background of the stuff, and I'm thinking, God, could you at least clean up? And then he burped as well. Oh my God.
No,
he knows the real stories, right? There ain't nothing sugar-coated with his stuff.
No.
There you go. That's cool.
You know, and like I say, we've ran this parallel life, and then we crossed over and got together, and we've shared this BMX world together for the last. Well, now we're married 6 years. Funny part is we got married at Black Mountain BMX.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
But you're so in that you totally had your. Did you have a wedding dress? Did you wear a wedding dress?
No, but I
A
had
jersey.
a BMX jersey, I think, and I had like a little crown thing, and
Oh,
I had some flowers, but there was an Amy grip with like flowers. So
That is
still-
awesome.
that is so cool.
Yeah, we've had these, like I say, we're not the poshest people, so we just do what makes us feel good,
Right.
and that's what we wanted to do.
I love it. I mean, you're rooted in that. You met through it. You lived your whole life through it. I mean, that's you.
Yeah,
So
right
I
together.
love that. I love that.
It's funny. I was like, when I stopped like racing, I think what ended my career was I'm a big baby. I broke my finger. There was a BMX national at Poole BMX in England, and they had the doubles. They called them the Dolly Partons.
Right.
Because they were, and I broke my finger, and that was about it really for me. But then I sort of went into skateboarding, got into skateboarding, the industry,
Right.
and have quite a background in that. And then just BMX sort of came back into my life with Robert, and we found that we knew all the same people, and I rode at Ascot track. I rode there because I was. Is that where I got sponsored by Bassett Racing?
Yeah.
I was racing there, and the guy from Bassett came and said, "Oh, come." Sounds a bit terrible. Come round to my factory. It's round the corner. I got something to show you. And it was Bassett, and he said,
"You're not supposed to do that anymore."
I know. Here's the bike. Here's the uniform, and so I raced for Bassett in England for a bit, but it was always
awesome.
underneath. It was always like under the umbrella of my dad's company, who's no longer with us now, but he's a legend. Hotshot BMX. He started bought all the original things like Uni BMX, Pro Guards. Do you remember Pro Guards?
No, no one remembers Pro Guards.
Well, Dan does. Yeah.
Pro Guards.
We did like I said, we did a little bit of research too, just FYI, because I like to kind of know like a little bit. I don't want to be complete strangers.
Well, and if she is a Hall of Famer. She is.
Yes, she sure is. I love that.
Yeah, right there.
2023. Look at that.
Awesome,
That's amazing. Amazing. How did it feel winning that award?
It was great, because the girl that won the first Hall of Fame was Sarah J. Nichols, and she raced for Hotshot in the very early days, but then she's come back, and she's actually racing for Hotshot again. And she won it the first year, so that was really well earned. And then I won it the second year, so it was.
Congratulations.
Amazing. And I know I've been told by your husband that we share a love for dogs.
Oh my goodness.
So.
Well, I have a dream job.
Yeah.
I work at Camp Bow Wow, and it's just up the road, and it's a doggy daycare boarding. It's in Catalina, Arizona, just up the road. And I love it. We have like yards with like little teacup yard, and I'm in reception, so I get to check all the dogs in. Have to put their toys down and what they eat and stuff. Or we have like reports if they've been naughty. I have to say he was naughty. He was humping Charlie, and Charlie didn't like it, and they had to go into the naughty step. And I'm typing it. And sometimes there's like a whole report on a dog for the whole day, and I'm thinking, God, he's been frisky today. And I'm thinking, God, do I have to really type this? But I absolutely love it. I just love being face to face with customers and having banter with them, and just loving on their dogs, and it's wonderful.
It's kind of funny when you go in there, because all the customers always want her to take care of them because they just want to hear her talk.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I love the accent. I'm just saying.
Well,
Yeah, you love it. You don't live with it.
You don't. I know. I come out with things sometimes that.
She's got words, and I have no clue what she's talking about.
Seriously, tell me. Give me a word. Give me a word.
The boot, the bonnet, cool blimey. What else?
She says,
Pissed as a newt.
you know what's really funny is there was this book I found on Amazon. It takes English words and translates them to American words.
Yeah.
So I bought her the book. She has it in her office. Like when she says "blimey," and they look up what's "blimey" mean, or "wanker," or there's just all kinds of words.
I don't like to be rude, but there is something that we say, and I said to one of my colleagues the other day, and I said to him, "Keep your pecker up." And he said, "What?" And I said, "Keep your pecker up," because he'd had a bit of a bad day. And I said, it means like,
keep your chin up.
keep your chin up.
Keep your chin up.
But he would keep his pecker up.
Keep his pecker up. They don't let me forget that.
I wouldn't either.
That is going to be my new phrase. I'm just saying.
She throws these little sayings out, and like we were in England one day, and there's these little black birds that fly around, magpies, and she all of a sudden she stops and looks at the bird, the magpie, and goes, "Hi, Mr. Magpie.
How's your wife?" "Hello, Mr. Magpie. How's your wife?" If you see one magpie, you have to say, because it's unlucky, "Hello, Mr. Magpie. How's your wife?" And that gets.
You're supposed to say that?
Yeah, if you see one, but if you see two, it's one for sorrow, two for joy. But if you see one, but I was on about we were buying some Vans shoes, and I said to the lady behind the counter, and she said, I said, "Can you not put them on the counter because it's bad luck?"
She does things that like I took my shoes and put them on the. She takes them, grabs them, puts them on. Don't put shoes on.
Put shoes on the table.
There's a whole bunch of other ones she'll throw at me, and I'm like, what?
Don't cross on the stairs.
Yeah.
Don't what on the stairs?
Don't cross somebody on the stairs.
Oh, you're not supposed to do that either, huh?
No, I went into the bank today to pay something in, and I said, "Can I pay that in?" And she looked at me and she said, "What?" And I said, "Can I pay that in?" She said, I don't know what you mean. And I suddenly said, "Oh, can I deposit that into my?"
No, gotcha.
Don't worry. I just it all goes over my head now. I just let it all go. Because half the time I don't know what the hell.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Now everybody in the BMX community is going to be saluting these birds. Mike Miranda.
Yeah.
Do it. I love that. You guys are the cutest couple ever.
Yeah.
I'm just straight up telling you. I adore you. You are so awesome. We have been going for an awful long time, and I could honestly keep going all night long. But I think everybody's we got to probably slow it down a little bit. I want to know just a little bit. I want to know what's next for you guys. What's your plans moving forward? What are you doing?
Truthfully, we live our life, and as it comes, it comes. We go like her 60th birthday was last week. We went
Congratulations.
We went to the local Indian casino and had a weekend at the Indian casino, and that was her joy. And then this coming up weekend, we're going to Dirty Fest, which we both enjoy. She doesn't enjoy as much as I do because it's dirty, And she has kind of a bad hip, so running around up and down the mountain gets tiring for her. But when she runs, once she gets there and she runs into Miranda, and Miranda gives her this big hug and a kiss, she's all in. She's all in.
It'll be better. Yeah, it'll be better. You're going to have so much fun. We so wanted to go this year. It just is not in our cards. We tried so hard, but with work and our schedule and our grandkids and all of the things. So next year, it's on the books, though. We will see you there. It's happening.
Yeah, and I think they're going to be doing probably a Dirty Fest type race closer to you guys soon.
Right. They did just have a Coop Fest, which is supposed to be in comparison to that.
Yeah, that was in Oklahoma.
About it.
Yeah.
Stillwater.
That's Guy Cooper's house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
You know, and Guy Cooper's more famous for his he raced motocross, supercross, you know, as a 20-year-old, but he raced BMX as a kid, you know?
Right.
And he never forgot how much he loved BMX. And once he started seeing all these old school stuff, he was so motivated to do one. And this is his third year doing one.
Isn't that crazy?
The first one,
that's awesome.
And if you know where he lives, he has his house. He has a moto track and everything there, and a lot of property. And so he built a little track, just a little one for the first year. And the second year, it was a bigger one. And this last year, it was beautiful track, full gate, big wide corners. He had special guest star Stu Thompson there, you know. Yeah. He had full gates. They give away beautiful prizes. So it's all growing that way, you know. All our memories as kids can be reacted at this point on these kind of things. So it's so much fun.
It is. It is. Holly Dunn did give you a shout out, Jane. She said you sure helped her at Dirty Fest last year.
Oh, no,
yep, you were a godsend, is what she said.
I know. I need to be I need to be taking them, but I can't find them at the moment.
Oh, she's going to be the actual, like, the reporter, the interviewer, the one who's out there doing all that stuff, and we are going to be watching all over the place. I'm going to be looking for you guys. I'm going to see if you guys I'm going to watch for you guys in the audience. I want to see you.
Usually I'll do a couple live feeds for a little while, you know, this and that. Right. And then I'll do a couple TikToks here and there, probably, you know.
Nice.
Awesome.
I always try, because I want to promote the sport. Right. And these old school events. I mean, I've been talking because I run the Ascot BMX page, which was Ascot was the local track that we all grew up with. I've gotten everybody that's on that page to try to come out to Dirty Fest. A lot of people that haven't went are now going to come. And so we're going to do a little bit of a kind of a reunion while we're there, you know, things like that, you know.
That's cool.
Yes, it's just growing and growing and growing. I can't wait. I mean, this whole, like you said, this whole old school vibe is really truly coming back in hordes. Like, it really is. People are coming from all over the place to go to Dirty Fest. Coop Fest had a crazy turnout for sure. Frogtown always does, right? So
and then you have the Texas BMX days.
Yep.
You know, and then
we're going to that one. We're going to that one.
And then Jersey has one coming up. They had a Jersey one, you know, and I think Florida wants to do one soon. So they're growing in things, and eventually they're going to be able to have a series. So you can basically be able to go to 3 or 4 events and then crown a actual champion.
Wouldn't that be so cool? That might be the new competition for USA BMX long term.
Well, it already is.
Young kids.
Well, this weekend is New Mexico Nationals. Yeah. Well, I guarantee we're gonna give New Mexico National a run for their money. I bet you we have more participants, maybe not just participants, but show ups than they have at New Mexico.
Yeah, I bet y'all have 10 times the amount of people.
Yeah.
Where you're going.
What did I hear? I think I heard that Mike said he has 80 vendors.
Yep.
Yes. And that's really part of where they go so wrong, because, you know, people come for vendors, people come for shopping to see the new things and the different things that people have to offer. USA BMX, they could take a lesson from Mike Miranda and the crew over there. They could.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard the big rumor is Mongoose is going to be making a big production on something they're introducing over the weekend at Dirty Fest. So unless you're there, you're not going to know, you know?
I think we're
And that's
all
where you come in,
You
going
need, to
live
be,
with
you
it.
need to be sending us like the little messages saying this is what's happening because we can't be there. So.
I'll guarantee I'll do a live feed on the Mongoose, whatever it is.
I love it.
All I know is it's some special event. You know, last year Bob Harrow introduced his new Iconics program there. You know,
Right.
on Friday night they had a big stage and showed the new bike, introduced it to everybody. You know, everybody's sitting there. Everyone's relaxed. They're having their barbecue and they're having their beers or their drinks. You know, because that group, they're mostly all over 21.
Right.
You know, so they can sit around and have drinks and talk and have a good time.
Right.
And then you'll look over, hey, that's Stu Thompson's at that table. That's Perry Kramer over there. That's, you
Right.
know, all these Pete Lonkarovich and, you know, all these names that everyone knew from the magazine, but didn't really get a chance to see them. And now you can, you know,
Right.
Daryl Young and Clint Miller and Andy Patterson. And, you know, now that Bill Ryan started Torker back up. So many people they loved Torker in the 80s and it's back. So more people are in there. Bill Ryan, I love the guy to death. He gave me a Torker to put together for Dirty Fest, so I'll be riding the Torker for Dirty Fest.
What? That's amazing.
Yep. So
Are you gonna do the side hack? Are you gonna do a side hack?
No. I don't think anybody wants to drag my fat ass around. So
What? Maybe you'd be the pilot. Come on.
no, I don't want to pull anybody around. So.
I think we can all agree that we're very, very lucky to have grown up in that era in the
100%.
80s with and even like sometimes like watching some of the old school races from way back, you know, it's quite emotional really because, you know, to see the old tracks and just with the Dirty Fest now, it's just brings everybody together. And it just, the thing is BMX, it keeps us young.
Right.
We feel young, you know, we're still young in our,
it's very
in
nostalgic.
Our minds. Our bodies
Very
might not be, but
So what question do you have? You must have a question sitting around that you really want to ask.
Oh my goodness. I've had so many and then you cover it so dang well. Dan, what did you do? I know you do. He's been so quiet. Can you tell who the loudmouth is?
Well, I know, but I can talk for hours.
what about you didn't ask him about the stunt man?
Oh, let me give you this story.
Just try and be brief.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we did the movie, we were scabs, you know. We weren't supposed to really do all these stunts. So there was one stunt that said that we would shoot out of a second-story window, land on some wood in 3 steps. You'd land on a set of wood, then you land on another set of wood, and then down to the bottom to the ground.
Right.
And they said, no, you guys aren't professional. You guys can't do this. So they hired this. He was in his 30s, but he looked like a little kid as a BMX, you know, as the stuntman. So he was all proud of himself and I'm too cool for school. And he told us, I'm a professional. I can do anything. So they set up this stunt and we're all looking, yeah, we could do this in 2 minutes if we, you know. And he goes, no, I got this. So they set up the thing and they go, action. He goes out the door. He never cranked off the top of the lip and just goes, ah! head first. No arms, no nothing. Head first into the wood. Crack. And it sounded like you hit a bell. Ding, you know. He was stunned. He was way stunned. He gets up. They cut, and they get him. They put him in. I'm fine. I messed up a little. We'll do this again. So they gave him like 15 minutes, and they set up again. And we're all sitting back. There's a picture of us all sitting back watching this.
Right.
We're looking at each other. He goes, "What do you bet on his head?" Yeah. So they say action. He goes off and he tries to pull, but he pulls way too early. So by the time he's coming on his downstroke, he's heading for the ground. And this time he hit twice as hard. He was out like a bulb. He was gone.
Oh no!
You know, he was stunned. And then they go like, oh, we can't do this stunt. And then they look at us, and David goes, because it was David's character to do it. And they go, can you do it? He goes, yeah, I could do it in one take. And he goes, okay. So they set the stunt up again. They say action. David goes out the thing, lands perfectly on the first level, on the second level, down to the dirt. Off he went, cut.
Right.
They all look at each other like,
What's up, man?
Billy, you can go home now.
Right?
We never saw that cat again. He was gone.
Right?
Never saw him again.
That's awesome.
And it's really funny because they never used that scene in the movie.
Huh.
What? No, they didn't. That's so sad.
Yeah, there's 2 or 3 different scenes that we filmed that they didn't use.
That was never
They
used.
didn't use. That happens a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that ET and the stunt and all of the BMX that they put into that, do you think that kind of fed the whole sport? Or do you
Oh
think
my God. In Europe, especially, I have people that are professional cyclists, you know, Tour de France cyclists, have told me I started riding bicycles because of ET.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, I started racing BMX because I saw ET. John Bolgen, you know, you've seen that movie Ride. His
Yes.
whole thing is he started riding BMX because he saw the movie.
Wow.
You know, he stayed with us for about a week last week. So we had talked about it and how he said that the only reason he knew about BMX is because he saw the movie E.T. one day.
Isn't that
You know?
crazy? And to think that you are a big part of that.
Oh, yeah. One of the biggest cyclists in the world, Christian Hoy,
Yes.
he says, I started racing because I saw BMX, and then he became the Tour de France champion. You
Isn't
know,
that crazy?
you
Isn't
know,
that crazy?
there's a lot of those guys, you know. Armstrong, he was
Right.
a BMX kid, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that people don't realize, that BMX was a gateway. And then right now, the biggest thing is a lot of these BMX kids are getting pulled out of BMX into mountain biking or road
Yes.
biking. And it's just because they're some of the best athletes you ever saw. Like when
Right.
when the Olympics started, they would take a bunch of kids to the Olympic training facility and test them.
Right.
Well, they would put these BMX kids on these WAP bikes, and they'd be 20 points ahead of all these pro guys. And they're like, don't you think you want to come ride road bikes instead of BMX? And so they were stealing a lot of our guys that could have been champs out of our
Right.
sport. You know,
Right.
so we get a lot of that. So, and people still look at BMX. That's that kid sport.
Right. They do. They do. We get that
And
a lot
especially
too.
like when we're in Vegas and they're doing the big races, and there's a bunch of us older guys there, and why are you here? Oh, we're here racing BMX. BMX? Isn't that a kid sport? And we're all kids, and we're in our 60s, and we're still kids, you know, because we enjoy it. It's our fun time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I can tell you too, just from watching, I love the older men racing. They are actually more aggressive. They have, I mean, they know how to ride, right? So for the most part, but they're fun because they're so aggressive, and then all of a sudden they're best friends. Like one gets hurt on the track, and it's like they all just kind of come together, and I mean, they're just, the camaraderie between those men is crazy. Like, it's awesome.
But like I said, we get on the gate, and I can look over and go, I remember this same gate in 1981, 82, 83. And it's the same people, but now we're 56, 57, 58, 60, you know, and we're all still doing it on these bicycles. And like I said, they'll be dragging my dumb dead ass off a track someday. Because I don't have any plans on quitting at any time soon. So
Right.
I always say, as long as you get round safe, I don't care whether you come last. If you come not last, then great. But just because I just know how he just loves it.
I know.
He just loves being
awesome.
there. Yeah.
That is awesome.
If you get hurt too much, you can't continue riding.
Well,
Right?
that happened to me 2 years ago. I had a really bad crash, and I crushed my hand, and I couldn't use my hand for 9 months, where I couldn't hold the grip. And it only was up to about 6 months ago where I could actually hold the bars where it felt safe enough to ride again. So I lost a whole year of riding because of a crash.
Did you still go to the track?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's when Dirty Fest felt even better, because you got to go and see all your friends at Dirty Fest and Frogtown and all that. Because I couldn't ride because I couldn't hold the bars,
Look at that.
Right. David said his first real BMX race bike was because of ET. It was a Kuahara. Did I say it right? Kuahara.
Kuhara.
I need the sticker pack. You gotta teach me how to say it so I get the sticker pack.
Yeah, so
call that same phone number though.
I know.
Dr. BMX.
Right.
Yeah. Remember, hey, all your races be first places.
There you go. There you go.
Dr.
We are
BMX.
going to go ahead and do our giveaway. Dan, do you want to show people what they can get? What they can win? 8 Degree Pedal is our sponsor, swag bag. And because we are not doing it typically the same way we usually do, it'll be a little different. But we've got the 8 Degree jersey. What else we got?
We got a sticker pack from 8 Degree with Ken business card.
Yes. And does that have the portal thingies in it? Oh, is it? Oh, yep, the little plug-in charger thingies. I forget what you call that thing. What do you call that thing?
Plugger charger thing.
Plugger charger thing.
We got a Going Road coaster.
Going Road coaster.
We've got a Taco Rita sticker from Miss Holly Dunn herself.
Holly Dunn.
And we've got a couple of more free up storage and Going Road podcast stickers, koozie from free up storage, and a couple of pins.
Nice. That's a pretty darn good pack. So all I'm going to do is start scrolling up. When you tell me to go, I'm going. When you tell me to stop, I'm stopping.
Okay.
Ready? Tell me when.
Go.
Go.
Stop.
Holly Dunn?
Miss Holly Dunn.
She don't want again.
She won again. Did she win before? She ever did. I don't think she ever did. Holly Dunn, you got the sticker back, and I think I even have your address.
I have it right here from the.
Yep. I even have it, so I don't even have to work to send it to you.
In Gilbert? Gilbert? Or Gilbert?
Gilbert, Arizona.
Yep.
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 Right next to Chandler BMX.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Do you guys still get to see each other quite a bit since you live both in Arizona?
Yeah, when we're at the Arizona races, we see her, and then when she goes to Dirty Fest or something, she's always around. And then she's always on Facebook saying hi or liking a post or making a comment on a post. So she's never not around.
Right.
I get to see her every single day because she's right there on the ball.
Yeah, see?
I was like, what? How?
Yeah.
It took me a second.
There's Holly right there.
What's really funny is I can remember when she was this little girl, little girl, and now she's a woman with her own kids, and it's amazing.
Right.
We've lived these lives that people would die for it if you really think about it, because we've done stuff, got to travel the world, got to see
be in
people.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
so
amazing.
You got to see E.T.
Mm-hmm.
E.T.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Like I've always said, this sport has put so much into my pocket that you can't believe, the friends I've met, the friends I know, the people, even the people that we've lost, some of the greatest people from the sport that we've lost over the years because we've been it so long,
Right.
We've seen companies go to the highest spot in the world to drop away, to come back, because no one ever forgets, and like I said, now you have all these bike shows and they're displaying these bikes from the 80s and they're worth $10,000, that we paid
or $150 or $150,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
So all these things. So it's amazing.
Right.
So we appreciate every day being in this sport with friends like you guys, JT, Melissa, Rick, Mike, the Miranda,
Right.
Hollywood will be around forever. I remember before he even was Hollywood. So
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Well, it has been such a pleasure. We have enjoyed speaking with you so much, and we're going to follow up, do it again, hopefully sometime.
Yeah,
I
Moto
can't wait to hear how Dirty Fest goes for you guys. Excited about that. We want to give a quick shout out to the people who support us. We've got All Things BMX.
Yep.
Arthur from Northwest Arkansas Podcast.
Yep.
Beer Budget, of course. Our friends in the industry always help us out quite a bit. Shout out to our sponsors.
Yep.
Give it to me, baby.
8 Degree Pedals.
Yep.
Free up storage.
Yep.
Of course, going rogue BMX.
Going rogue. Yeah.
Amy Grips.
Amy Grips.
Evil Alloy.
Evil Alloy.
Carbone Cartel.
Carbone Cartel.
And I'm missing somebody.
Are you?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I think that's all of them. Maybe.
Yeah.
We're so funny.
No, I'm still. This has been amazing.
Yes, it has.
I mean,
can I say hello to the Hotshot team?
Yes, you say whatever you need to.
Everybody in England, all the old school BMXers from England that are watching this, and hello to my mum.
Oh, I love that.
I like I say, I still have sponsors, so I want to thank ABC, which is the American BMX company, Racing, Kuwahara, Amy Grips, Evil Alloy, Twerker now, Bill Ryan for everything he does, just a numerous amount of people. Got to thank JT and the Syndicate, Beer Budget, because they're out there promoting this sport. When they go to, like Rick, he goes to work every day. He gets back and he does his show. And he doesn't have to go. He goes to the track and takes care of these kids. He doesn't have to do that, but he knows that it makes him feel good. It makes the sport grow. Things like that. And that's what we've all got to realize in this sport. We need to help each other to keep this sport growing.
100%.
And then we got to all thank both my teams, the Hot Shot BMX Team USA, Hot Shot BMX Team UK.
Amazing. I love it. You guys are so fantastic. Number one, he says. I love it. I love it. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I can't thank you again.
Thank you.
This is fun. I'm just getting straight up. It was fun. You guys are my favorite couple on earth. Your story is just insane. I want to find somebody to help write your story because I think a BMX love story. It's super cool. The ET stuff is super cool. Obviously, your talent is amazing. What's kept you in it, but your love story has me just. You're my favorite now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much later on, going. Why couldn't we have something?
Why can't we have something like that?
Well. Hopefully we get to run into you guys in person soon, and we'll have a drink together, share some really good stories that we can't tell on the air.
Let's do that. I look forward to it.
And so I just want to thank you. You guys are a great couple. I love your show. Like I told you from the beginning when I started messaging your show, I tend to message all the BMX shows and tell them how good they are and and I was very surprised the first time I opened it up how professional and how willing you are to listen.
Oh,
Well,
well,
thank
I appreciate that so much. I appreciate it. We try. Someday we'll
You just gotta listen.
I just gotta
And pick
listen
hers up.
and peckers up. Gotcha.
You peck her up.
Got to keep your pecker up. Yeah.
That's how the marriage works for real.
Well, I want to say I want to thank my team manager Matt from England, because he's taken this team from a bunch of nobody. They're third in team trophy in all of England out of 60 teams.
And Sarah's.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, and
Get
Sarah
the-
Nichols our older that she shares a birthday with Jane. She's been third in the world at 55 years old, racing girls in their 30s, and
Beating them.
beating them. So
That's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
like
so if you get a
that's
chance, just
one bad A woman. Just saying.
Yeah.
if you get a chance, look at the Hot Shot BMX UK team on Instagram, and you can discover a little more.
We'll do it for sure.
All righty, I want to
Write it
thank,
down.
and I want to thank Sean Gifford too for running the team here in the USA.
Aw,
And
that's
Remy.
awesome.
Remy is a great little teammate,
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll applause that one too.
There you go.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, you guys definitely have some
Thank
good
you.
things going. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are
Thank
going to
everybody
follow
that
up
was
for
on
sure.
here.
If you don't mind just kind of keeping hooked up when we're all done here for just
Yeah,
a
yeah,
few minutes
yeah.
to make sure it like syncs. But
Yeah.
thank you again. You guys are
Yeah.
amazing.
Say bye.
It's
Cheers.
been a very, very great pleasure.
Yes, for sure.
Okay,
Our
with y'all.
honor.
Yes, it is.
Honor.
Cheers.
Cheers.